Time to rewind and open your mind. No late fees to annoy you this time. Video store might be no more, but we're digging up movies worth watching them for. Howdy everybody, welcome back to Video Store Graveyard, where we dig up all the classic, stranger, weird, and just genuinely movies we want to see and talk about them and break them down. I'm Dano.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Tex, and this is episode 3.
Yes, indeed, and I took them here to my hometown of Brownwood, Texas. We're broadcasting from the Windley Broadcasting Studio, and brought them down here to my hometown so that we could go see
Child's Play. And thank you for bringing us down here, too. All the hospitality. Thank you, Brownwood, Texas, y'all.
All right, and I'm glad that y'all got to come out here and experience the town, and also we got to go do a cinematic experience together once again with the new Child's Play. And it launched, very recently, and it's a little different. It's what they call that word I hate, once again, I'm going to say it, reboots.
Yeah, it's a reboot.
I feel it's more reimagined.
Reimagined,
We'll go with that. Reimagined.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot to talk about on this front. So let's kind of break down. Okay, we went to see it at the Regal Stadium 8, and of course you've got a very cool little mask that.
Oh yes, I do.
The Chucky mask from the new one, which we've been enjoying. Well, they've definitely been enjoying it a lot.
Oh, that's fun, man.
Yeah. So. But anyway, so let's.
Are you saying you didn't enjoy that?
No, I'm just saying that you're creeping me the hell out, is on what I'm saying. So, okay, well, we're going to break down Child's Play, and overall impressions of the movie. We'll go through that, kind of bring up some of the interesting things. We want to let everybody know that if you haven't had a chance to watch Child's Play yet,
spoilers.
We will be talking about what they call plot points. And that, if you don't want to hear any of that before you see it, I recommend you see it first, then you can come back and listen and see if we all line up in our thought process on that. So.
Well said, Dano.
All right, so let's get right into the idea. One of the main differences up front about Child's Play from the original Child's Play is we're not getting into the supernatural level here. This is
no
very
longer
much
supernatural.
This is about technology gone wrong, and we're seeing it more and more. In movies. I had a lot of feelings about AI and artificial intelligence in this movie. Not just the idea of AI, but the movie AI that Steven Spielberg produced. There are things about this that reminded me of that in some ways. I
agree.
You've got this artificial intelligence. Essentially, break down that the safety protocols are removed by a disgruntled employee, and while that is not the main action that makes Chucky become the murderous rampage killer that he could possibly be, it does set the stage for him being influenced by other behaviors and things that he sees, and changes the learning curve. So what were y'all's thoughts on the changes from the supernatural to this idea?
It's quite good, actually. A lot of it is more interesting this time around. The problem with the supernatural element in the original compared to this one was it was a little silly at times. This one is a little bit more smarter and a little more modern, technology. That's something that we actually have more readily available now. Also, the fact that Chucky can literally control anything from your phone is fucking scary.
Yeah, we have that brought in, the idea of like the Alexa and the Siris of the day. The Buddy dolls have the ability to connect to all of your wireless devices, anything controlled by that company.
With this company.
A smart air conditioner can turn really deadly on you at the wrong hands. So, which we do find out about later. First kill in this movie doesn't come till almost the halfway point, or at least it felt like it. But that build, although that's going to frustrate some viewers, along with probably some of the other things, that build up to that and seeing the evolution of Chucky's artificial intelligent mind lead up to a payoff of a hell of a first kill that is just gruesome and brutal and
unapologetically violent.
Yeah, it's freaking great. And I was like, oh my gosh. It's like it had a big cringe factor.
It was a great scene.
Yeah, and you see that the first couple of victims of Chucky in this, they seem like deserving. They
kind of get what's coming to them.
Yeah, kind of. they're not good folks. And then that kind of changes a little bit later. But I really liked one thing for sure. I thought I was going to be upset with the new look of Chucky, but we all established just by playing around with this mask how creepy the new Chucky can look.
Yeah, I'm fine with the way his new look
and the animatronics and everything involved, and the fact that he, the voice of Mark Hamill, great job of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mark Hamill, if you can hear us, hey man, you're awesome. We all love you.
That was actually the turning point to where I was once he was on board.
Yeah,
because I was a little bit skeptical about a reboot, and I am about most reboots. But I'm really glad. This blew my expectations out of the water. The whole idea of the change from a supernatural story to a technology gone wrong story, I think, is what made the whole thing better for me. That it differentiates itself from the original, even though, it's still a doll named Chucky that has red hair and kills people. Oh yeah,
which they make jokes about.
They do make jokes about the red hair, which is pretty funny.
And I really do like the supernatural aspect anyway. And I don't feel like this new technological aspect takes away. It doesn't have to take away from any of the supernatural Chucky. I think we can have both. I like the idea of having both, and whoever decided to make it about AI gone wrong, I think that was a good. It worked out. I think they handled that in a creepy way that was very unexpected for me. I didn't know I was going to like it this much.
Yeah, I think we all probably have that same kind of thought on that, right? Andrew, you kind of feel like you kind of went in with a little bit low expectation, right, or not?
Did you?
That was at first when I heard about it. Then I heard more people getting involved. Aubrey Plaza, Mark Hamill, some people that I like,
Yeah, the performances overall from everybody.
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza, bless her, man. She did a great job as the mom.
They make a joke about her too in the movie.
Yeah, they do. And
the kids
Alex, were all great.
Alex did a good job.
They were all great at doing what they did, and so I think you had a good overall balance of the cast. Everybody bringing something to the table. People genuinely looking scared. Just the look of the first kill on old Shane, the not so great guy.
Was that the perv?
Yeah, no, that's the second one. Not Sicko Jack Black, the other guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, and so we all are in agreement. We liked it. It exceeded our expectations. I also want to talk about that soundtrack.
Bear McCreary.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
And it's great, man. The use of the soundtrack and all of the scenes, and especially the Buddy theme song.
You'll be my buddy. Mark Hamill does a really great job at that, by the way.
Yeah, it's creepy as all get out. I was genuinely creeped out by parts of this movie, and a Child's Play movie. As much as I love the Mancini franchise, it hasn't done that to me in a while. Like, hadn't given me the genuine.
Not since the first one, really.
It's always been a fun ride, and I've always enjoyed that ride. But this gave me like some straight up like. All right, man. Well, what are any other thoughts? What do y'all think about this?
So you brought up that some people aren't going to like that there's no kills until 30 minutes in. I think that was very smart that they did it that way, where they did a build up, and Chucky fucks with Andy for a majority of this movie. Yeah. He does. It's psychological. It is a lot, very much. He's like, well, let me just, turn on some random TVs and fuck with you for 2 minutes and then shut them all off so that your friends think you're crazy.
Right.
That's a really good scene. That's very effective, actually.
Yeah, it is. And, the scene where they're watching the chainsaw.
That's a good scene, though.
It is great. And it's funny because we have just been talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
We were talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
And how it's, kind of a dark comedy.
It is.
In a lot of ways.
Sucks.
And it's so fun, man. But
they chose the right scene.
Yeah.
What they ended up doing was taking a scene from that movie, and Chucky got to look at that scene, and
he realized
he studied. I love, that was the big part of what I love about this movie, is that like the first half of this movie really is about the process of seeing Chucky learn. And so sometimes this movie really pushes on you that, hey, this thing will do what you teach it to do.
He wanted to make him happy.
Yeah, I wanted
That's
to
what
make
he
them
said.
happy.
He
But
saw them all
someone
smiling
messed
while
with,
they're laughing.
someone
and
messed with
watching.
the computer chips.
Yeah.
And this Chucky wasn't the same as all the others. So this process of Chucky learning things and then seeing these kids laugh at a grotesque horror movie scene not only was reminiscent of like, guys like us who are fans, we see stuff that we're like, yeah, but Chucky's an AI who doesn't know any better. He's looking at it. He's like, oh, these guys like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I'm going to make them happy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let them see stuff like that in real life.
Yeah, his motivations are always
very
kinda-
shrewd,
yeah.
brilliant.
He just wants to help Andy most of the time. Or
Speaking of that, though, the kills and all that, with how Chucky learns and all that, it really does look great. The animatronics in this film, they really do.
His facial emotions, they convey a multitude of different feelings that fit the narrative and the screenplay. For a horror movie, I really liked the dialogue in this movie. It wasn't. I didn't feel like it was. Well, I do got to say, I was saying earlier that the first half I felt was really solid. I do feel like a little bit this movie kind of lost some of its tightness with the screenplay and the forward moving of the movie itself. Got a little lost in the end, but not lost enough where I came out of it like disliking it. I'm like, I still like the movie. I do wish that they had kept it a little bit tighter with some of the humanity issues they were exploring between AI learning from human kid.
yeah, and that's another thing is we have a lot of, and I could get into a whole thing about artificial intelligence and how I'm pro-bot, but there's also robophobes. But I'm pro-bot.
I'm a robophobe.
I'm on the AI side.
Yeah.
And so
The
it's,
3 laws.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are the 3 laws?
What is it, like don't kill?
Do not
I
harm
thought
a
that was
human
Gremlins.
being. Do not inadvertently harm a human being. I'll look it up.
All right,
Processing.
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 When you said the 3 laws, I'm like,
I think I've heard about
don't feed
that.
them after midnight. Don't get
I
them
think
wet.
I think they mentioned in iRobot, but that movie
Yeah,
we know that
Isaac
movie.
Asimov.
That's funny.
All right.
I had. Oh yeah, go ahead.
So the 3 laws: a robot may not injure a human being, or through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law, and a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law.
Aha. All right. So you can feed them after midnight. That's good.
Yes, you can feed them after midnight.
The reason I brought up the Gremlins was it was making me think. The soundtrack reminded me a lot of that, and this was like reminded me of like a very gruesome kind of Gremlins type movie. Especially because of the music. And
The music did it. I
Music
agree
helps.
with that. And again, Bear McCreary. I mean, I've been a big fan of his since Battlestar Galactica. Great soundtrack with that. But having him come in with his all-reaching talent of playing any kind of music you can think of, this guy, and this Child's Play toy-sounding horror theme is really very effective. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, well, overall thoughts, I'm going to give it a solid 4, horns up, just because it was so surprisingly better than I anticipated it being. I hadn't read any reviews. I didn't know about the change from the supernatural element to the technological side.
Just a good way to go in, I would say.
Yeah, I liked going in fresh, as Frank Costanza says. So, yeah, 4 for me. How would you guys think it?
Okay, so I'm gonna be a little ballsy and say I think I like it better than the original, a little bit. So I would give it 4.
Good for you. Controversy.
I think just everything about this movie looks better. I like the idea better of AI, but
Than Supernatural?
I like that better.
Wow.
A lot
Cool,
better.
cool.
It's something that is current and happening right now. Anybody can literally hack into a phone at any point. So that's kind of scary of a killer doll hacking into your phone and killing you with whatever he can use,
Yeah.
So I give it 4. 4 horns up.
Right on, man.
I give it 3 out of 4 only because I felt that it got a little disjointed towards the end, where I was getting really impressed how tight the learning experience of this AI doll in the first half of the movie was very impressive, and so I think I just wanted it to be that tight the entire movie. But still, 3 out of 4 I think is still pretty solid. And I'm willing to have 2 different Chuckies, one supernatural, one AI. I don't see why there shouldn't be 2 happening at the same time.
I don't disagree with that part. They can both coexist right now.
I have room for both.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that has been an issue that stirred up, and we can talk about that a little bit too.
Well,
the notion of when you're, it's tough. People see stuff, they have a franchise that they love or a movie they love, and it gets someone else is making their vision of it. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. People have very strong opinions about things like Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2. I mean, it's something that you could type on a horror message board and just watch the war go through, people on both sides of that. I know where I stand on that, and so I can understand people not already having ideas about something that's kind of a reboot or anything. But yeah, they can both keep going. I'm super excited about where the original franchise is going. I really enjoyed Curse of Chucky, and Cult of Chucky was hell of a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see where that goes next, and we will be seeing that hopefully.
And I want to say I look forward to watching Fiona Dourif.
Yeah.
Brilliant bringing her into that.
Right?
Into that part of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And they were at Texas Frightmare Weekend year before last. Or, no, it was last year's. It's just because we just finished this year's not terribly long ago. But
yeah, you were just there, right?
They were both at last year's. And it was pretty awesome seeing both of them at tables next to each other signing autographs and doing the whole thing. So want some big shout out to that. And hopefully we'll be getting a chance to talk with them again. Hopefully, that was a lot of fun just going over there and meeting people. So, all right. Well, so what else we got?
I got. It's quiz time.
Yeah,
quiz
All right,
time.
quiz
All
time.
right, quiz time.
Quiz time
Quiz
for
time.
Brownwood. This would be me quizzing Andrew and Dano, and I'll chime in whenever the opportunity presents itself. But we are going to go with movies from the 1980s. Horror movies from the 1980s.
Oh, Kadoki.
Specifically 1982.
1982.
Ooh, good year. Good year.
All right. Well, let's do this. This is kind of a this or that kind of deal that we do, and it's a lot of fun. And we'll get a lot of hatred now from people that like the other one. All right, let's go.
All right. So first 2 movies, your choice. Which one is better for you? Poltergeist
Ooh, okay.
or Creepshow?
You start off with a hard one there, buddy.
Yeah.
I like both movies a lot.
He did. We went there. I'm gonna go Toby Hooper Poltergeist.
I might. You know what?
I love Creepshow. Don't get me wrong, and I could say the both thing, but I still have a leaning preference specifically for Poltergeist for what it did, special effects wise, and just such a great deal. And they used real bodies in the pool, and it's messed up.
Oh, I see what you're saying there. I still have a soft spot for both movies. I love everything about both of them.
Yeah.
I got to go with both on that one because Creepshow has a really good story structure of stories, but then Poltergeist also did so much for that genre. And the fact that they got away with a PG rating on that,
Yeah.
boy, they would not get away with that today with that one scene that I'm thinking about with the face scratching.
Mirror face.
For the record on that one, I love both. But for intents and purposes here, Poltergeist outweighs it just by a hair because Poltergeist is a pretty damn good movie.
It's weird when you're doing an anthology versus something else because there's parts of Creepshow that are just so great.
Yeah.
In fact, all the sections of Creepshow 1 were pretty great. It's funny that you bring that up also because we watched Creepshow 2 just the other night, and we all pretty much think The Raft, I think, was the best.
Yes,
the
The
best.
Raft
Raft.
and Creepshow 2, yeah.
That's
Best written one out of that.
All right, next 2 movies. We
All
got your choice, Friday the 13th Part 3 or Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
The people on the Joe Bob page always argue about Halloween 3. I will go with Halloween 3. I know
That's
Jason
a
gets
hard-
his mask in 3D.
That's a hard. Yeah, you
and it
know
was-
what?
But
The more
think about the hokey 3D.
the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, that movie's not well written. I can't do Friday.
That spear gun, remember?
I'd love to.
Don't you
I'd
love
love.
this-
I'd love to rate to pick that one over the other one, but Halloween 3 is the better movie, honestly.
Yeah, but I do love that. I do like that Friday just because of you can tell where all the bad 3D was supposed to be in the yo-yo.
Oh, absolutely.
The eye gouge, and that's weird spear gun kill. Probably still rates amongst Jason's weirder ones, I think.
It's a weird one that comes out of nowhere that they don't redo or something. Or
Yeah.
In the sequels, they don't even mention it.
Anyway, all right.
All right, cool. Continuing on, 1982 horror movies. Which one's your favorite? We have on this one, Parasite, or Pieces. I have not seen either one of those two.
Oh, really?
No.
You know, the only one I've seen is Parasite. Now that I think about
And
it.
that's funny. I've only seen pieces.
Well, this is interesting.
So there we go. All right. Well,
right.
here's an easy one for that. We just have to settle and watch both of them, and we'll all decide on that later.
Yeah.
Well, later date processing.
Processing.
All right. Next to Visiting Hours
Ooh, okay.
or
Michael Ironside.
Amityville 2, The Possession.
Visiting hours, man.
Visiting Hours. on
Michael
that one.
Ironside in that, dude.
Visiting Hours.
So
Definitely.
freaking legit. I just watched that not too long ago. I was already scared of hospitals, and then you have to have that thing going on. That's a wild ass movie, man. I like that. All right, let's go.
All right. Next to The Beast Within or Basket Case.
Basket case.
Basket
man.
Case, definitely.
I'm all
more
over Beast
enjoyable.
Within on this one.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting.
That's it's a really gnarly,
Controversial.
very gnarly
Oh,
movie.
really.
I think Basket Case is a very interesting movie. It's also fun to watch it with Joe Bob's Riggs.
Yeah, it was.
It
That was
is.
That was good to watch one. It's a great one to watch with a brother.
Yeah, Ronnie
or that.
Cox is in it too, and I'm a big fan of him.
Ooh. Ooh. Just
Ronnie
kidding,
Cox.
just kidding.
He was in RoboCop.
Yes.
He was in Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2.
Oh.
He's been in tons of stuff. All right. Next two, we got Cat People or Dogs of Hell. I have not seen either of those two.
I've
What
seen Cat People, but I've not seen Dogs of Hell.
Well, Dano, I'm with Tex on here this one. I haven't seen either or.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I could easily make a preference,
1982.
but
It's
yeah,
not
keep,
turning out to be the best year. All right. So I'm trying to think of which one to team up with this one because we got The Thing. The Thing came out in 1982.
Twitter for me already. I don't even have to hear the
Oh,
next
yeah,
one.
absolutely.
Yeah, honestly, I can't really compare it to anything because that movie's just pretty.
It's one of my favorite movies, maybe my favorite horror movie overall. So, nothing
Yeah.
beats. That's like when you were comparing Iron Maiden to Yes.
Okay, but
So-
that was a joke.
Nothing can beat. Okay, well, even so. It's like The Thing is up here, Iron Maiden's up here, everybody else under here.
All right, so are we in agreement that The Thing is just too damn good to put it up on a compare list?
Unless you're comparing
Special
it to
case.
another amazing John Carpenter movie.
Well, we're keeping it in 1982.
All right, well then let's move on.
All right. Alone in the Dark
I think we're alone now.
or Blood Tide. I have not seen either of those two movies. 1982
I
doesn't
don't
seem
remember
like
that Alone in the Dark. I remember the terrible Alone in the Dark later, the whatever Uwe Boll movie.
Alone in the
Oh, I better
Dark
be careful, he
had
might try to challenge me to a fight.
Jack Palance, Donald Pleasance, and Martin Landau.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Put that on the we need to watch this list.
Alone in the Dark, yeah. Oh, I just looked at the cover. I've seen this cover before.
I've never seen the movie, but I've seen the cover.
That's the way it
Yeah.
is with a lot of these 80s movies for me, because I was growing up in the 80s and I would see them in the store and I wasn't even allowed to look at some of the covers. It's a weird thing being a kid in the 80s and really liking scary stuff, but you can't walk down an aisle and look at movie covers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. That's how we ended up seeing The
That's-
Deadly
Then
Spawn.
that's how I ended up being this way. Doing a podcast about freaky movies.
Okay, I have not heard of these movies either. Curse of the Cannibal Confederates
Okay.
or The Dorm That Dripped Blood.
I like the Confederate one, just for the title.
I don't know, that sounds like Killer Double Feature, though.
That sounds like a very, yeah.
That looks like something you'd find
yeah.
at the Dollar Tree secret stash.
So which one would we
God.
want to watch first? The Dorm That Dripped Blood or Curse of the
You
Cannibal?
gotta figure out a way to get around it.
Yeah,
I mean,
new
I've seen
twist
which
to
would
the
I
quiz.
watch? I would go with The Dorm That Dripped Blood.
I think I'm gonna go with the curse. That one sounds interesting.
The Curse of the Cannibal
I would go.
Confederates.
I would go Curse of the Cannibal Confederates as well. Curse of the Cannibal Confederates. Curse of the Cannibal Confederates.
Curse of the. I can't
All
say
right.
it.
So, next two movies from 1982 we have not seen. Invitation to Hell. Anyone see that?
Nope.
Or
Vaguely familiar.
The Living Dead Girl.
I've seen The Living Dead Girl. But
I haven't
not the
seen
other
it, but
one.
I've heard the Rob Zombie song. And I
That's
think
what it's based off of, if you'd believe it. And
So I would go with that if I was going to watch one of them first.
I believe he does use clips from the movie in the music video.
Thank you, Rob Zombie, for influencing our answers.
Yeah.
And I was not being sarcastic.
Even though your movies are.
Nah.
Oh.
right. We
Some
got
of them.
we got two more 1982 movies. Manhattan Baby, or The New York Ripper.
Wow, they're both in the.
Wait,
both
whoa.
in
What was
New
our
York
first
area.
choice?
Manhattan Baby.
New York Ripper sounds like a rad film.
I've seen it. New York Ripper is a great giallo film, and it's pretty gruesome and pretty great. I'll go with it.
Too bad I haven't seen either one of these, but they looked awesome from the
some
cover.
Of, some of these I don't even know. Okay, I have seen Q. I don't know if you guys have seen Q. It's about that
Bring the cover
dragon.
Let me see. Yes, I did actually watch that.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's not terrible, but some of it doesn't look great anymore.
So Q or The Slayer.
Ah,
I've not seen either of those, so I have no. But if I was going to watch one first, I'd go with a movie called The Slayer, just because Slayer rules.
I think I'm going to go with
you.
The Slayer on this one.
And we're running out of any kind of close to knowing what this movie is. So,
Well, we're almost running out of time anyway.
all right. So here, last two: Satan's Mistress or The Sender. Which one would you watch first? I would say Satan's Mistress in this.
Yeah.
In this
Satan's
circumstance.
Mistress, all the way.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we agree on which one we'd watch in that order. And okay, so yeah, that was fun. A little quiz time, and talking about Chucky and the new Child's Play movie. And here in Brownwood, Texas, where I've been happy to spend the time with you guys.
Also, want to give out a shout to Dano's dog, Samson, who is recovering right now. Samson had some a little medical scare for a little bit, but now he's back at home and safe and sound and loved. And we just want to, if you're listening, Samson, get down off the couch, and we love you.
Oh, appreciate that, man. Samson appreciates it too. All right, well, from Brownwood, Texas, in the Video Store Graveyard, guys.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Tex.
I'm Dano, and we'll see you next time when we go through the gates and start digging up movies.
Peace.
Peace.
Time to rewind and open your mind. No late fees to annoy you this time. Video store might be no more, but we're digging up movies worth watching them for. Time to power up the VCR. Headed to the graveyard of films near and far. Watching the strangeness we find on the way. Three crazy friendos with plenty to say. Come on our journey if you're so inclined. Leave sanity, hope, and good taste behind. Life isn't easy, but whatever is. Video Store Graveyard is open for biz. Time to rewind and open your mind. No late fees to annoy you this time. Video Store might be no more, but we're digging up movies worth watching them for. Time to rewind and open your mind. No late fees to annoy you this time. Video Store might be no more, but we're digging up movies worth watching them for.